This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Now, I know that a lot of you guys have asked me to do a video on this one. You want my thoughts on it all. And of course, please continue to give me your thoughts as well in the comment section of this video. Click the thumbs up while you're there. And of course, subscribe. So we're going to be talking about the official offers that Eddie Hearn has said that he has offered Team Wilder, or Deontay Wilder more specifically. So we'll briefly touch on the Tyson Fury bit as well, and the Dillian Whyte bit, and a couple little trinkets, and then we'll move solely into Joshua versus Wilder. As I said, drop your thoughts below about it all. So with Tyson Fury, he called up Eddie Hearn after the Wilder fight and said, I want to fight Joshua April 13th. Give me a guaranteed amount. Give me a flat fee. Okay, I don't want percentage splits. So that's what Eddie Hearn done, but Frank Warren saying 50-50. But even though Tyson Fury didn't say he wanted 50-50 or anything like that, he officially said to Eddie Hearn, give me a flat fee. So that's what Eddie Hearn offered him, but has now come back and said, well, actually, we'll offer you 40% if that flat fee is no good, if you think that this flat fee is good, so this percentage could potentially earn more money. So here is 40%. Bearing in mind, Tyson Fury doesn't own a title, but he brings star quality. He's lineal, he held all the belts Joshua currently has, and the Ring Magazine title will be on the line as well, and it's 2 Brits, all that kind of good stuff. So he's also offered 40% to Deontay Wilder, or he's going to be today. Now, if you just look at it just from one perspective, okay, 40% for Tyson Fury against Joshua, 40% for Wilder against Anthony Joshua, Fury would actually make more money than what Wilder would, because it's 2 Brits, Wembley Stadium, all that kind of good stuff. He's a much bigger name, brings so much more to the table, markability. Okay, so Fury would actually get more money than Wilder based on the split. Okay, so before we get into the Wilder bit, we'll cover the Dillian Whyte bit real quick as well. Whatever the offer was that Dillian Whyte had before, Eddie Hearn said he's now going to offer more, which will be apparently double his highest ever payday. Okay, but how much will that be? Who knows what it can be? And I know a lot of people saying, but Dillian Whyte should just accept it, but no matter what, it's for titles. Listen, I get it. It is for the titles. It is for revenge, all that kind of thing. So yeah, sure. But also, if he was to wait, and he will become the WBO mandatory, when you are WBO, you get 40%. So Dillian Whyte needs to look at this and think, okay, so my offer is going to be X amount. How would that be? Would I get 40% for being mandatory for the WBO? Okay, because a lot of people say that Dillian Whyte will get 25%. It's only 25% for the IBF. But if he's okay, so the IBF will be on the line, so will the WBA. But if he's WBO mandatory, he'll get 40%. I believe that's what the rules are, because I remember looking at it all when Joseph Parker had the WBO title, and he was meant to be fighting Hughie Fury. I remember 40% flying around there, okay? So there's that one. So yes, Dillian Whyte should weigh it all up and say, well, if this fight between me and him is going to generate X amount, what would 40% of that be? If not, I'll wait for the mandatory and I'll get more money that way. So he does need to weigh it up. When it comes to Deontay Wilder now, which is the core of this video, you have to remember that Wilder does have one title, WBC title, okay? And he brings very little markability to the fight. Very, very little. He's only known because he's used Joshua's name for quite some time, okay? But he does need Wilder, or at least the WBC title, to become undisputed. So let's see the offers that Eddie Hearn has put through. Originally, first time around, Deontay Wilder was saying, I'll accept anything. It's not about money for me. It's all about legacy. I just want to become undisputed. One name, one face, one champion, blah, 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 blah. All that kind of garbage, quite clearly garbage. And he managed to convince a whole fan base that he genuinely wanted to fight, even though it was plainly obvious. Every hurdle that he was setting up was knocked down. Every single one of them. And it proved that he didn't want to fight. So this time around, they haven't just offered a flat fee. Well, they have offered a flat fee, but they've also offered a percentage. It was 30%. They weren't getting answers. They upped it to 35%. Still no answers. So now they're going to put it up to 40%. But as we know, Wilder said, no amount of money is going to get me in that ring with Joshua. Don't care, don't want it, all that kind of thing. Really what he's saying is, I'm scared. That's what he's saying. Listen, fine. He's entitled to be scared if that's what he is. So 40% is what he's offered for one belt. In reality, shouldn't it be 25% in reality? Okay, because you've got Anthony Joshua's got 3 of the main 4 belts. So he only needs one more for undisputed. Joshua's collected it all. Joshua is the cash cow. So really, it should be 75-25 in Joshua's favour, 3-1, correct? But no, they're offering 40%. Wilder's been saying, I want 50% and da-da-da, until he changed his mind and said, actually, no amount of money's going to get me in the ring. So now he's in a situation where he's going to be offered 40%. And anybody with any kind of common sense should not be saying Wilder should get 50-50. As I said, Joshua has got 3 belts plus the IBO and is the name. He's the one selling the event and he is the one who's bringing the damn money. That can't really be disputed, can it? Anyway, so not only is he getting 40%, within that 40%, there will be a guaranteed minimum earnings. So, for example, they'll work out however many the capacity in the stadium does, plus the pay-per-view, UK, US, plus the broadcasters from 185 countries around the world. Okay? So it's a pretty big fight, right? If it doesn't reach a certain level, for example, so if 40%, I know, if it does make, 100 million, for example, which it probably won't, but if it does hit 100 million, then he's guaranteed 40 million, 40%, okay? But if it does 50, then he's only guaranteed 20 million, right? Out of a 40%. So out of that one, they're not looking at it like that. They're saying, okay, so you are guaranteed this amount, even if the pay-per-view and everything flops, you're guaranteed a set amount as a minimum. But the 40% overdrive will kick in once you go past that kind of number. Okay, so in other words, you're getting a guaranteed flat fee plus a percentage of 40%. Okay? Plus, in addition to this, it's for undisputed. Who didn't want to be part of history? He could be the very first 4-belt holder of undisputed. The last one, Lennox Lewis, was a 3-belt holder. Joshua already has 3 belts. So he's already accomplished what Lennox Lewis accomplished as far as belt collecting goes. But Joshua wants to be the first 4-belt holder. Wilder also has that opportunity. So why wouldn't you want to do that? And plus, in addition, there is a guaranteed rematch. No matter what happens in the first fight. If Wilder wins in the first round, knocks out Joshua in the first round, there will be a rematch in America. If there's a draw, there will be a rematch in America. He beats Joshua, he loses to Joshua, there will be a rematch in America. Whereas before, it could have been based on public demand. If the first fight was good, the public will demand it, then they'll make it again. But this one's guaranteed. Even if the fight stinks and it's boring, it's awful, both from cautious, it goes 12 rounds, no meaningful punches thrown in the fight whatsoever, they're still going to have a rematch. So Wilder is not only guaranteed a set amount for the first one, plus 40%, if it goes past the guarantee, of course, so 40%, then he's also going to get more in the rematch, especially if he wins. If he wins, he's guaranteed 50-50. As we said, bearing in mind, Joshua has been the one belt collecting. He's been the one who's been risking it. He's been the one taking on the fights. He's been the one that's bringing the name. So a 50-50 rematch is more than generous, more than generous. Who knows, maybe they may even increase that side of it, because 50-50 was always there for Wilder. But if they're going to up the initial one from 35 to 40% for Wilder, they may well do it for like 55% in favour of Wilder in a rematch, if he was to beat Joshua. So if not, he's guaranteed 30 to 35% in a rematch, even if he loses. So regardless, he's getting 2 lots of massive money. And he will get a chance of redemption in the rematch if he loses. If he wins, he'll be the A side, wouldn't he? On American soil. In Vegas, in New York, wherever it may be. Now, the only thing we don't know is broadcasters. I know there's talk about DAZN, I know there's talk about Showtime in America. Some people have said about doing a split. We can't really do a split, can you? If Showtime's going to be doing the pay-per-view for $100 and DAZN's going to do it for $10, which one are you going to choose? Especially if you haven't signed up to DAZN yet, you get to watch it for free. You get the first month free. So that wouldn't really work. But if they wanted to do that, they could do that. If Showtime offer more money, then sure, they're going on Showtime. But it shouldn't really matter whether it's on DAZN or Showtime. It just shouldn't matter because Wilder isn't tied to Showtime. Wilder can fight on any network in the damn world. Where Joshua, he must fight on Sky Sports here in the UK. Outside the rest of the world, it can be anywhere. So that is it. So just a quick recap. Deontay Wilder will be offered a guaranteed amount and 40%. Sorry, just clarify, not a set amount plus 40% on top of, no. It's 40% with a minimum guarantee within that. Okay, so it's 40% and a guaranteed rematch and for undisputed. Fight April 13th at Wembley, have a rematch in America. Is it too much to ask? Is it really too much to ask? And if Wilder doesn't accept this one, no, not even the most hardcore fan out there can say that Wilder isn't ducking this fight. You can talk about Fury, you can talk about how the negotiations of the first one went and the 50 million, we've killed that one to death, okay? But if he doesn't fight Joshua, it's a guaranteed duck. There's no other way of looking at it. He ducked Joshua. 40%, but he needs to act fast because there's a good chance that Tyson Fury may accept this 40%. There's a good chance that Dillian Whyte may accept the new offer for his highest ever payday. Well, let's see which one it is. Anyway, you drop your thoughts below about it, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.